What if I told you that the most secure vault on the planet, a place protected by 10 layers of state-of-the-art security, was broken into without a single alarm being triggered? This isn't the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster. This is the story of a crime so audacious, so brilliantly executed, that even the police who investigated it called it the heist of the century. In the heart of Antwerp, Belgium, lies a district that handles over 80% of the world's uncut diamonds. And at the center of that district stood the Antwerp World Diamond Center. This wasn't just a building, it was a fortress. Its underground vault was considered the most secure in the world, a veritable dragon's hoard for precious gems. The security read like a checklist from a spy movie. The vault was protected by a door 3 tons of steel thick, fortified with a lock that had 100 million possible combinations. To even reach the door, you had to pass through a locked gateway, manned by professional guards. The vault itself was armed with Doppler radar, infrared heat detectors, a seismic sensor to detect the slightest vibration, and a magnetic field that would trigger an alarm if the door was opened without authorization. It was, by all accounts, impenetrable. But to one man, the word impenetrable was just an invitation. His name was Leonardo Notarbartolo. He wasn't your typical smash-and-grab thug. He was a charming, well-dressed Italian jeweler who saw theft as a high art. For over 3 years, he meticulously laid the groundwork for his masterpiece. He rented an office inside the Diamond Center itself for about $700 a month, posing as a legitimate diamond merchant. This wasn't just a cover, it was his research lab. Day after day, he played the part, making small talk, observing guard patterns, and, most importantly, gathering intelligence. He carried a pen that was secretly a camera, photographing every inch of the building, the corridors, and the security systems. He learned how the guards behaved when they were least alert and the subtle flaws in a system designed to be flawless. He discovered that the heat sensor could be blinded, the magnetic field could be bypassed, and that even the most complex lock is only as strong as the secrets it keeps. He knew he couldn't do it alone. He assembled a small elite crew known as the School of Turin, a team of specialists at the top of their illicit professions. There was the man they called the Genius, an electronics and alarm expert, the Monster, a master locksmith and heavy lifter, and the King of Keys, who could reportedly duplicate any key from just a glance. Together, they were about to attempt the impossible. The plan was a symphony of low-tech solutions to high-tech problems. Each layer of security was peeled back, not with explosions or brute force, but with cleverness and patience. First, the infrared heat detector. This sensor would pick up the body heat of anyone approaching the vault. The genius's solution: a simple can of hairspray. By spraying the sensor, they created a fine, oily film that temporarily blinded it, making them invisible to its electronic eye. Next was the magnetic field protecting the vault door. The door was held shut by 2 powerful magnetic plates. If the connection was broken without the proper code being entered, the alarm would scream. The team's solution was a custom-made 2-part aluminum shield. They approached the door, carefully slid the shield over the magnetic plates, and then screwed the 2 halves together. The aluminum blocked the magnetic field, allowing them to swing the plates open without breaking the circuit. The alarm remained silent. The final and most legendary obstacle was the lock itself. How do you crack a lock with 100 million combinations? According to Notarbartolo, they didn't have to. He claims they had found the key to the vault room hanging unguarded in a nearby utility closet months before. Even more shockingly, he claimed to have filmed the vault manager opening the lock, discovering that the combination was never changed from the manufacturer's default. With the combination in hand, all that was left was to turn the dial. They drilled through the lock and used a custom-built tool to manipulate the internal tumblers. On the night of February 15th, 2003, under the cover of a local tennis tournament that had the city distracted, Notarbartolo and his team slipped into the silent building. They disabled the light sensors with black tape and physically broke the seismic sensor with a hammer and crowbar. The impenetrable vault was open. For hours, they worked undisturbed, breaking into 123 of the 160 safe deposit boxes. They weren't greedy. They were selective cherry-picking boxes filled with diamonds, gold, cash, and jewels. By the time the sun rose, they had walked out with a haul estimated to be worth over $100 million. They had achieved the perfect crime. The getaway was as clean as the entry. They had disabled the CCTV system by destroying the tapes. There were no alarms, no witnesses, and no forced entry. It could have been days before anyone even knew they had been robbed. But the perfect crime was about to be unraveled by the most human of flaws: panic. One member of the crew, a man known as Speedy, was tasked with burning the evidence, the bags containing their tools, notes, and leftover supplies. But for reasons unknown, he panicked. Instead of finding a secure place to have a fire, he drove onto a highway and simply dumped the bags in a ditch in a wooded area just outside Brussels. A few days later, a local landowner, annoyed by the illegal dumping, went to investigate the trash. Inside, he found something far more interesting than garbage. He found empty diamond pouches, half-eaten sandwiches, videotapes from the Diamond Center's security system, and an invoice from a local electronics store. He called the police. This one bag of trash was the loose thread that unraveled everything. The invoice led detectives to Notarbartolo, and the DNA from the partially eaten sandwich was a direct match. The perfect crime, a masterpiece of planning and execution, was foiled by a discarded lunch. Leonardo Notarbartolo was arrested, tried, and sentenced to 10 years in prison. His crew was also captured. But the story doesn't end there. In a stunning twist, Notarbartolo began to talk. He claimed that the heist was part of a massive insurance fraud scheme orchestrated by a diamond merchant. He alleged that they were hired to break in and that the true value of their take was closer to $20 million, not the $100 million that was claimed. And what about that $100 million? To this day, the vast majority of the diamonds, gold, and cash stolen from the Antwerp vault has never been recovered. Notarbartolo served his time and is now a free man, but the location of the loot remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in criminal history. So what do you think really happened? Was Notarbartolo telling the truth about a larger conspiracy? A clever thief trying to deflect blame? Or is he sitting on a secret, waiting for the right moment to retrieve one of the largest fortunes ever stolen? Let us know your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to follow us. See you in the next story.